We are just about to go live. We are live now.
Okay, thank you, Renata. Good evening, everyone. It is 7:03 p.m. This is the Town of Newington Conservation Commission meeting for December 14th, 2021. Ms. Gibbons, please call the roll.
Commissioner Bashand,
Here.
Commissioner Casasanta,
Here.
Commissioner Conway,
Here.
Commissioner Paskowitz,
Here.
Chairman Saydell,
Here.
Commissioner Wagner.
Here.
So a point of order, Commissioner Conway will be seated for Commissioner Ancona. And point of order, Mr. Hinckley has alternate been appointed for Mr. Lavarier. Is there any word as far as an appointment?
Not at this time.
Okay,
So as soon as we know, I'll let the body know.
okay, thank you. Moving on to section 3, election of officers. Officer A, Chairman, do I have any nominations for Chairman?
Yes, Commissioner Paskowitz here, Chairman Sedell. I'd like to renominate you in your another term. You have been exemplary in proceeding with these meetings at all levels and being fair with the applicants and also with all commissions in respect to speaking on all topics as individuals, and I can speak to that myself. So that's what I would like to proceed with.
I'll second it, John Bashand.
Thank you. I will first accept. Thank you for those kind words, Commissioner Paskowitz. I accept. Mr. Hinckley, do we have to call the roll? Can we use a voice vote for this?
Either way, you should probably just verify, ask a couple more times if there's any other nominations, and then you can take your vote.
Certainly. Any other nominations? I see none.
Okay.
So shall we proceed? Ms. Gibbons, please call the roll. We have a motion in play, seconded by Commissioner Bashant.
Yes.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Bashand,
Yes.
Commissioner Casasanta,
Yes.
Commissioner Conway,
Yes.
Commissioner Paskowitz,
Yes.
Chairman Saydell,
Yes.
Commissioner Wagner.
Yes.
All right. Thank you for your vote of confidence. Appreciate that. Moving on to the office of Vice Chairman. Do I have any nominations for Vice Chairman?
Yes, Commissioner Paskowitz here.
Go ahead.
I would like to renominate the term of Commissioner Wagner. First of all, he's done very well in what he's been new on the commission and taking on the vice chair position. And I think a vice chair should proceed to another term in administrative capacity, because it takes more than one term to learn the proceedings here. As I've observed over 10 years on this commission as a member, to actually take over when the chairman may not be present for whatever reason, and then proceed into that position possibly in the future. But it takes more than one term to learn this finite art of this Conservation Commission.
Okay, so moved by Commissioner Paskowitz. Mr. Wagner, do you accept the nomination?
Yes, and thank you for those kind words.
Any other nominations for Vice Chairman?
This is Commissioner Conway. I second Commissioner Paskowitz's motion.
Okay, thank you. So I think moved by Commissioner Paskowitz, seconded by Commissioner Conway. Ms. Gibbons, please call the roll.
Commissioner Bashand,
Yes.
Commissioner Casasanta,
Yes.
Commissioner Conway,
Yes.
Commissioner Paskowitz,
Yes.
Chairman Saydell,
Yes.
Commissioner Wagner.
Yes.
Congratulations, Commissioner Wagner.
Thank you. And thank you everybody for voting for me.
Okay, moving on, item C, election of a secretary. Do we have any nominations for secretary? I personally would like to nominate John Bouchard for secretary if he accepts. I think he's been quite active on the commission, and I think he's ready for a more expanded role. And I think I nominate you, Commissioner Bouchard, for secretary. Do you accept?
If I may, I think I'd decline at the moment. I'm grateful for your confidence, but I was going to nominate Commissioner Paskowitz. He seems to be pretty on the ball on that stuff, and I'm not as confident that I would be able to handle that, to be honest with you.
Okay, so declined. So we have Commissioner Paskowitz. Do you accept John Bouchard's nomination?
I thank you for the opportunity, but I also am going to decline. After 10 years of being on this commission, I've discovered that I'm more of a forte as a research person on specific items. And I'd like to move on to officiate someone else. And I would like to nominate candidacy for John Casanta.
Commissioner Casasanta, do you accept the nomination for secretary?
Well, seeing that there's not too many more commissioners other than me, I will accept.
Okay,
I didn't want to run into a problem where we ran out of commissioners. I will graciously accept, and I appreciate the commission's confidence in me.
all right. I take it that no other nominations. Do I have a second for Commissioner Casasanta for secretary?
I
Commissioner Wagner,
second that
second.
motion.
Commissioner Wagner, seconded by Commissioner Wagner. Ms. Gibbons, please call the roll.
Commissioner Bouchard,
Yes.
Commissioner Casasanta,
Yes.
Commissioner Conway,
Yes.
Commissioner Paskowitz,
Yes.
Chairman Sato,
Yes.
Commissioner Wagner.
Yes.
Vote is unanimous. Congratulations, Mr. Secretary Casasanta.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. It's an honor.
All right, moving on to item 4, setting meeting dates for 2022. It was on the meeting agenda sent out by Ava.
No, he was
Are there any other comments on that, on the dates and the alternate dates?
Everybody
Mr.
good? We did go through and verify for the, all the holidays we could, for the Jewish holidays in the fall and other things, so.
Okay. So may I have a motion to accept the meeting dates, proposed meeting dates for 2022?
Make a motion to accept the meeting dates.
Moved by Commissioner Bouchard. May I have a second?
I'll second that.
Commissioner Paskowitz.
Seconded by Commissioner Paskowitz. All in favor? Voice vote?
Aye.
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 Opposed? None? Abstentions? Unanimous. Thank you. Okay, moving on to item 5, public participation of non-agenda items. Renata, is there anyone on the line wishing to speak? I believe we have someone waiting.
Yes, Mr. Chair, hold on just 1 second, please. We have 6 attendees with 1 raised hand. So Mr. Hargan, can you please unmute yourself?
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Hello?
sir. Yes, sir. Name and address for the record, please.
David Horrigan, 30 Candlewick Drive. I am speaking tonight to put into the record a summary of the improper deliberations that occurred at your meeting on November 16th regarding the Culver Street application. I and many of our neighbors were stunned by the complete disregard for your own rules during the deliberations. You were given explicit instructions from Eric, Attorney Ancona, and Renata no less than 4 times during the discussion. Each time they warned the commission that the public hearing was closed and there should not be any input from anybody outside the commission at that point. Quoting Eric, the public hearing is closed, so there really should not be any input from anybody at this point. End quote. I will quote Attorney Ancona. You need to focus on the application in front of you, the record before you, and that's it. End quote. Requoting Attorney Ancona, again, you must look at the record before you and move forward one way or the other. Quoting Eric later in the meeting, the public hearing is closed. You were at the deliberation stage, so whatever action you guys take is the action you take. Quoting Renata late in the meeting, I would caution you against engaging in further discussion. I hope you get my drift by now. It became obvious from sitting here that deliberations were headed to a no vote on the application. Then, despite such clear instructions to the contrary, and completely out of the blue, the applicant began to testify to the merits of his site plan. This testimony and exchange between the applicant and commissioners went on for I don't know exactly how long, but it fills 5 entire pages of your minutes. So in conclusion, your actions on the application were at best improper and possibly illegal. We as residents have been astounded by the way this commission, the TPZ, and the TPC has disregarded its own rules and gave much more latitude to a developer from Pittsburgh than you did to the tax-paying resident of Newington. The entire process has been a travesty, and we're not going to be silenced. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Bertotti, is there anyone else on the line wishing to speak?
I do not see anybody else at this point with a raised hand, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Moving on to item 6, acceptance of minutes. First item, Newington Conservation Commission meeting minutes from October 19th, 2021. Are there any additions and corrections from the commission?
Yes, Chairman Sedell, Commissioner Pasquich here.
Go ahead.
If you refer to page 3, at the top of the page, I expressed myself, Commissioner Pasquich, and at the bottom line, at the bottom sentence, it states, okay, well, the second part then would be the title of this article is setting breading season, which breading means to bread to eat. And it should be actually written as breeding, BREEDING. So just an edit of spelling and word definition.
Thank you. Anything else, Commissioner Paskowitz?
No, nothing at this time. Thank you.
Any other commissioners at this time have some additions and edits to the meeting of October 19th, 2021? Okay. I see none hands raised, so may I have a motion to accept the meeting minutes from Newington Conservation Commission meeting from October 19th, 2021 as amended?
So moved, Commissioner Conway.
Moved by Commissioner Conway. May I have a second?
I second that.
Seconded by Commissioner Casasanta. Voice vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Minutes pass. Moving on to next set of minutes from the Newington Conservation Commission of November 16th, 2021. Are there any additional corrections from the commission? Seeing none. May I have a motion to accept the meeting minutes from the Newington Conservation Commission from November 16th as written.
So
I'll make the
moved,
mo-
Commissioner Conway.
Moved by Commissioner Conway. May I have a second?
Second, Commissioner Pascowitch.
Second by Commissioner Paskowitch. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Speak up. Abstentions? Meeting minutes pass. Okay, moving on to section 7, new business, item A, extension of application number 2016-17 at 705 and 711 North Mountain Road for MDC construction activities. Contact Sean Callahan. Is the
Mr.
applicant
Chairman.
present?
Yes, he is, Mr. Chairman. If I may preface this slightly, this is an application that was approved, obviously, in 2016 by the commission. There probably are a number of members that were not on the commission at that time. So I've asked the contact, Mr. Callahan, here tonight to just give a brief overview of the project for those that don't know it or don't remember it, and, you know, the reason for the extension. And he's here to make just a brief presentation.
Thank you. The applicant step forward.
Hello, yes. Do you want us to share screens this evening?
You can share your screen, sir. Yes.
Okay. All right. How is everyone tonight? Thank you for
Good.
having us.
Name and address and company contact for the record,
Sure,
please.
sure. Absolutely. My name is Sean Callahan, and I'm with FHI Studio, and I'm contracted from AECom, and we also have an representative from AECom with us this evening tonight, Jacob Mebby, and we are representing the MDC, the Metropolitan District Commission. So yeah, so you guys approved an application, and just for a little bit of reference, there's 0 wetland impacts with this one. It's a just within the upland review area. And this is associated with the South Conveyance Tunnel project, if you've heard of that. So I wanted to just tee up Jacob, and he's going to actually share a screen with you and show you a couple of figures and just kind of give you guys a little bit of a rundown on the project.
Thank you, Sean. Can everybody hear me? This is Jacob Maybe.
Yes, we can.
This is Jacob Maybe with AECom on behalf of the MDC. We'll share my screen. Is everyone able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So what I have on this, screen is the overview of the South Hartford conveyance and storage tunnel that the MDC has been working on. This project is a larger project that's occurring in Hartford and West Hartford to reduce combined sewer overflows and sanitary sewer overflows in these areas. The project that we're currently working on, we refer to as Contract 5. These are smaller shafts that feed into the larger tunnel. They feed the overflows into the larger tunnel. And I will scroll down to this area that we are working in. It's the 2 shafts in Hartford and West Hartford. These red lines that feed into this larger tunnel, which is the blue line. The subject of this permit application was this other portion of the work that the contractor is currently working on, the NTS Hyatt relief structure, which a portion of that work is located on the subject property in Newington. Just a quick update on the current progress of this project. So the contractor has been working on the New Britain Ave and Arlington Street conduits in Hartford and West Hartford. That's this red line here and these this red line here. The Hillcrest Avenue, that conduit has been constructed and they're finishing up the restoration work. And they are currently scheduled for substantial completion of the overall project in August of 2022, with field completion scheduled for October of 2022. And the NTS Highlight Relief Structure, which is the subject of the permit application, they're currently scheduled in spring of 2022 to start working in this area. Here's a site plan that was included in the original permit application for 711 and 705 North Mountain Road. This area is going to be used as a construction staging and access road to the NTS Highlight Relief Structure, which is located in West Hartford and shown here. So the staging area and construction access road on the Newington side is shown here. And the wetland delineation boundary is shown by this green line, as well as the 100-foot upland review boundary. When the work is completed, the contractor is going to restore the area, which will include paving and leaving this stabilized construction entrance in place.
So it appears only this ramp, the gravel area, stabilized area, is the only encroachment that was in the upland review area, correct?
Correct.
And will that remain afterwards? Will that be reseeded or once the project is complete?
The stabilized construction access will remain in place, which will provide access for maintenance of the overflow structure that's being upgraded as part of this project in West Hartford.
And just so we're clear, the permit does expire later this month, so that's the reason for the extension request. I'm sure they can discuss any budgetary items or whatever, why we haven't started this project at the moment.
Yeah, so yeah, it would be good to add, work has not begun here at this site yet. And Eric hit the nail on the head. It's funding that slowed the project down a bit from the original construction schedule. So now they're looking at, mobilization in and around February to get ready for the spring to actually begin work.
All right, are there any other questions from commissioners at this time?
Mr. Chairman, just one out of curiosity, what does the high outlet relief structure do?
So the highlight relief structure will divert any overflows during wet weather. It will divert it to that larger tunnel that is being constructed in South Hartford.
Okay, so this is just an
Currently-
auxiliary, a tunnel that would connect our local system here in this general area of the construction to the main tunnel.
Well, this is Tom Lodo over at AECom. I just want to correct you, Jake, a little bit. On this is the high outlet relief structure. So actually, the flows here currently during high wet weather, they will discharge over Weir and into there's a brook here. What we're doing is improving the situation and increasing the height of that weir, so there'll be less frequent discharges into that stream.
So there is no direct connection to the main tunnel.
Not at this location. We do in further down on Hillcrest, there is other weirs that will basically discharge into the tunnel. But once the tunnel is filled and the flows, if they keep increasing, this is like a fail-safe kind of level. It's a higher level so that, like I said, so that it prevents flooding into homes and businesses. That kind of.
And Newington's trunk sewer is somewhere close in this proximity, is that correct?
Yeah, it's this and this line here. I don't know if you can actually see my, probably Jake, you can show them.
Yeah, we can. I can see it.
Yeah.
So is that what is being protected by the overflow,
Correct.
or is this strictly stormwater?
No, this is wastewater, so it's a combined sewer.
Mhm.
Or, yeah, wastewater. So during rain events, you get some pumps, infiltration into the sewer, so the flow is significantly increased. So this structure that exists currently, it's a relief point, basically.
How often would you say it has to go into relief?
We've done modeling, or actually another firm has done modeling on it, but with this implementation of this project, overall in the system, it was probably relieving 30, 40 times a year. Not
Wow.
necessarily at this one location, but, throughout the system we're working on. But with the improvements, it's only planned to be activated on an average year once a year. So it's significantly improving, the overflow is happening in this area.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Pasquich here.
Go ahead.
You said relief or release. What is being released?
It's relieving. So this existing sanitary sewer pipe, this 42-inch pipe that's going down Hillcrest, during high flows, during wet weather events, there's
Okay, let me just
only a
jump
certain
in.
capacity. But
Is that combination of stormwater and sewer?
and I don't believe you have combined sewers in Newington. I think it's
We do not.
yeah, so I believe it's sanitary sewer, but then you get infiltration, meaning groundwater gets into the sewer system, or you have people who have roof leaders connected to the sewer system, or you have people with sump pumps. So you get additional water that gets into the sewer system during rain events.
And that's what causes the release.
Right. Well, then you get flows that are, exceeds the capacity of the pipe.
And where does that discharge go to again, please?
There's a brook that's I'm not sure of the name of it. I don't know, Jake, if you know offhand, but
Yeah, it's an intermittent stream that feeds the Piper Brook.
Correct.
and that currently exists, and it's probably existed for 30 years or 50 years or something. But what we're doing, our improvements we're making is going to reduce the amount of times that actually occurs.
Okay, I see the crux of it now. Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions from commissioners? I'm not seeing any. My screen. So no further questions. We will table this and revisit this under old business later this evening.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to item E, old business. Item A, application number 2021-27 for construction activities in the regulated area at 85 Reservoir Road. Applicant Anna Reynolds, Building Committee, owner Town of Newington. Contact is Stephen Woods. Is there anyone for this application present, Mr. Hinckley?
I believe they have a couple individuals here this evening if you have any further questions.
Okay, let me see here. That Mr. DeMo or Mr. Brendan White?
He is here, yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for joining. I appreciate that. I have no further questions. There was quite a detailed presentation given on the November meeting. I will throw it open right away. Of the commissioners have any questions regarding application 2021-27?
I'll just chime in that I do not as well
Thank you,
have any
Commissioner
further
Bashan.
questions.
Thank you.
Commissioner Pasquich, I do not as well have any questions.
Thank you.
Commissioner Wagner, I have no questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Conway, we'll close with you. And no further questions?
I have no further questions. Thank you.
Likewise, Commissioner Casasanta.
No further questions,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. So, Mr. Hinckley, is the application complete?
It is.
So shall we present the standard conditions? Mr. Secretary? I'll proceed to you.
Okay, motion to approve application 21-27 with the standard 10 standard conditions. How much of this do I have to read, Mr. Hinckley?
Typically with the standard conditions, we don't read them. They're posted. We only do it if we're adding any new
Okay.
conditions. So.
Okay,
So
Just
there's no add-ons, said Mr.
No,
Hinckley.
there are
There's
no add-ons. We're not
No
gonna
add-ons.
scroll through the conditions for us, just so we can all see them. Thank you. They are the typical conditions that we impose
For our
on,
regulations, yes.
for the regulations on all our wetland applications.
Speed read one more. There you go. Okay, so moved by Secretary Casasanta. May I have a second?
This is for acceptance.
Second by Commissioner Paskowitz. Thank you. Final discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Gibbons, please call the roll.
Commissioner Bashand,
Yes for approval.
Commissioner Casasanta,
yes.
Commissioner Conway,
Yes.
Commissioner Paskowitz,
Yes.
Chairman Sadil,
Yes,
Commissioner Wagner.
Yes.
motion passes unanimous. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. White.
Thank you very much to the commission. Thank you.
Moving on to item 8B, extension of application number 2016-17 at 705 and 711 North Mountain Road for NBC construction activities. Contact Sean Callahan. Mr. Hinckley, is the application complete?
The application is complete, and just so, and this discussion has come up before, this is really by statute, unless you feel there's a significant change to the application, typically the extensions are granted. So I leave you with that.
Okay. So basically, we don't read the conditions, we just vote for the extension, correct?
Correct, and it is a 5-year extension is the max allowable. And I think there's a motion up there. Renata, can you advance the slide? One, I think. There we go.
I may have a motion from the secretary for application 2021-27 for construction activities in the regulated area at 85 Reservoir Road. No, this is the wrong one. We just approved this one. This is the wrong application. This is for 2016-17.
Correct, it's just to approve the extension.
Okay,
Motion to approve, move to approve the renewal extension of permit 2016-17 for an additional 5 years pursuant to state statutes 22A-42A.
I'll second it, John Bashan.
second by Commissioner Bashan. Final discussion? Ms. Gibbons, please call the roll.
Commissioner Bashand,
Yes.
Commissioner Casasanta,
Yes.
Commissioner Conway,
Yes.
Commissioner Paskowitz,
Yes to approve.
Chairman Sadil,
Yes, to approve.
Commissioner Wagner.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimous. Thank you. Okay, moving on to item 9, public participation, non-agenda items. Renata, is there anyone on the line wishing to speak?
I do not see anyone with a raised hand.
All right. Moving on to item 10, communications and reports. Item A, agent communications. Mr. Hinckley, do you have anything to report this month?
Yes, I've been currently working with the town engineer and a local condominium complex that has a beaver issue. They have a nice dam network and it's raised the water at least minimum of a foot to a foot and a half. The condominium complex is going to have the beaver trapped and removed. And in discussion with the chairman, he's going to allow me to do an agent approval for them to remove the dam. The town engineer chimed in on that because it's close to a state road intersection that can flood. So he's concerned about flooding and icing condition in the winter if it happens. So we're going to try and expedite that. And by agent approval, I will allow them to remove the dam only. They're going to come forward with a overall maintenance plan for the brook that runs through their complex's property that would be reviewed by you guys in the future, probably. And they may even do that sometime over the winter so they can prepare for spring, because they do have some material that's currently in that brook. I don't know how detailed they're going to get with cleaning it out, but the dam is a definite issue right now.
So the beaver will be trapped at the owner's expense, correct?
Yes, it will. They're hiring the trapper through the state program or through the licensed state trappers.
And the actual removal of the dam, are they going to just do that by hand? Is the homeowner or the property owner going to remove that manually? What's it going to take to get those branches and logs out of the way? What means was they going to use that?
Yeah, the intent is they're going to look at a couple of ways to do it. Either with a claw, they can grab and pull some out they're not going to go right up to the edge of the bank, but be able to, like a great awl or something, get an arm in there and pull some of that out, or by hand. They are going to have to cross town property to get to that. And that's where the town engineer is going to work with them on creating a road to minimize the disturbance or whatever they need to do to get there. To get to it from their own property is a lot farther away than from the town side. So we're going to look at a couple of options for that to minimize any impact or disturbance to the regulated area.
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead, Mr. Commissioner Bashan.
did we mention what the location is? I'm assuming it's
I did
Rockhold.
not. It's at I believe it's Foxborough.
So
It's at
Rockhold Brook,
Halloran and Willard.
Rockhold Brook.
Yep, correct.
Thank you.
Not Foxborough, Robin Brook across the street. Sorry.
So Mr. Hinckley, how unusual is this for the town of Newington? How did this beaver migrate into that area? Has this happened before? Just out of curiosity sake.
Yes, lots of beaver problems in that area, honestly. I've seen, since I've been here, 5 or 6 other incidents easily. There's probably still some out there now that just haven't been seen or trapped, or there's been no complaints at the moment. There's some over in the Deming Young Farm area. There's also some on the other side of Willard on the Foxborough side, in on the town property in the park. So they are around.
So
they are destructive too.
Commissioner Pasquich, I'd like to speak to that.
Go ahead.
I had an opportunity to call DEP a few weeks ago, and they gave me a contact person who's part of wildlife and biology in Connecticut. He's actually the fur bearer wildlife biologist. And he called me today. It was a little late, but I was able to get some information from him. And he said, this falls under a legislative report, research on all this. I sent it out to the chairman a little while ago via email to look into. It's under Connecticut General Statutes 2006 RPT. Nonetheless, in the summary, it states that DEP has explicit authority to regulate the removal or destruction of beaver dams. It considers the installation of a water control device at a culvert or modification of a beaver dam to be a regulated wetland activity, subject to the approval by the local Inland Wetlands Commission. So in synopsis of this, there was like 5 pages of this, but I'm bringing it down to a smaller bit that we can chew on here. Is that if beavers leave there and are not trapped, or any seem to move away as this process is going on, they will in fact try to build another installation of themselves in a culvert, which people should be aware of. In addition to that, if a dam is taken down, people have to be cognitive of the fact that if the water level has already risen or is going to be rising due to storms coming or more rainfall, they have to be careful how much of the dam they take down at a time. And in layman's term, not to go in there with a backhoe and take it all down because it could influence the flood. And if there's a storm coming, obviously it could influence more of a flood because it's been an impoundment, which is actually a dam built by the beavers. So people have to be aware of how they take this dam down and not just take it down completely all in one fell swoop. Because it'd be very, very hard to control the water at that point, as it could go on to other parts of the property and also roads. Another note here. The state itself may impose a court order requiring a landowner to either remove a dam or allow the state to do so if the dam constitutes a nuisance. So there are other control factors and regulations within that. I'm sure the town engineer is aware of this by now. I just thought I'd pass this on at this moment because I received this information this afternoon, and that's what I have to offer.
Yes, Alan, we are aware of not taking the dam down all at one time. They're gonna peel off 6 to 8 inches at a time over a period of days or whatever, and let it flow through. And the town engineer will also be involved in helping me oversee that. So we are aware of that. Actually, Newtown has developed some regulations, which I think I forwarded to the chairman, about the taking down of beaver dams. And I think they're along those lines as well. Other than that, I would just like to also remind you guys, I think we spoke about it before the last meeting. Towards the end of January, we're going to have the Land Use Academy for all land use boards. Will be a class in the evening. Currently, it's scheduled for in-person here at Town Hall with the land use boards and town council. So it'd be conservation, TPZ, ZBA, and town council. Obviously, COVID has a bearing on this, but currently it's going to be in person in the early evening, and it's free. It's very good for everybody to get, especially since conservation, they're not doing the conservation certification currently at the moment. For those of you that have taken it, this just gives you basically general overview of land boards, how they work, how you guys are supposed to act, during meetings, how to run meetings, ex parte conversations, all those things that we've talked about in the past. You just get it from, they try and help us protect ourselves in the towns from, bad actions and future lawsuits, that kind of stuff. So, I don't know if Renata wants to weigh in on this. She's kind of set this up for January 27th.
No, I just wanted to say to everybody, please mark this on your calendar. It's January 27. It is going to be an evening meeting. We are looking at either 6:30 or 7 o'clock. This is done through the Yukon Clear, and it is Land Use Academy. It is actually through the OPM certified agency to do these commission trainings. So we scheduled that with them. We are privileged to actually have been able to grab them like this because like Eric says, this is for free training. So please do anything that you can to attend. We will try to do that in person. If it's not in person, we're going to do it somehow in an online forum, but I felt that it would, I've always had my commissions do this in person before, and it was incredibly effective. And the feedback after this was very positive from the commissioners. So again, I'll just encourage you to attend that.
It sounds like a well worth opportunity. Thank you.
That concludes my communications. I would just, before we move on to town council, I know they have a council meeting tonight, so they are not here. Ms. Bedrejko is still one of our liaisons, and I believe a new one has been appointed. I think it's Kim Murata. She will be the other conservation liaison going forward.
Okay, thank you for that. So moving on to item C. Pond Life Research and Education. Commissioner Paskowitz, do you have anything to report this month?
Just what I reported on the beaver situation. That's my concentration this evening, what I reported. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so I believe this concludes our agenda. May I have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. Commissioner Conway?
Moved by Commissioner Conway. May I have a second?
I'll second it, John
Second
Bouchon.
Second by Commissioner Bouchon. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Happy holiday, Merry Christmas, if it applies.
Have a
Happy
good
New Year.
Christmas, everyone.
Yeah, happy
Happy
holidays,
holidays,
everyone.
everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Joy,
See you
thank
next
you,
month.
everyone.
Bye.
Night.
Good night.
Good night.